Hello everyone, and welcome to our Q1 release webinar brought to you by Twilio. We're super excited to be here today to show off all of the new products and features coming to the Twilio customer engagement platform. My name is Jordan Schutz, and I work here at Twilio as a Senior Product Marketing Manager of Developer Experience, and I'm going to be your host for today's webinar. In this webinar, we are going to be showing off new Twilio, SendGrid, and Segment products that are in a variety of different launch stages. And as a result of these products being in different launch stages, I just want to make sure that you make all of your purchasing decisions based on currently available products. In today's webinar, we are going to be covering everything you need to know about the Twilio customer engagement platform. And we are going to help you get started with your digital transformation journey today and show you how you can use our service offerings to improve your customer and developer experiences. We are also going to be showing off 9 new exciting releases coming to the Twilio customer engagement platform, such as Twilio Verify, SuperSIM, SSO, message scheduling, and so much more. And then after each section, we are going to provide a resource for you to get started today. Before we jump into the new product releases, I just want to take a minute to highlight the power of the Twilio customer engagement platform. All of the products mentioned in this webinar enable developers and the organizations they support to create engaging customer experiences wherever consumers are through trusted digital channels. Developers are able to personalize these experiences at scale by merging all of your customer data under one single source of truth. With all of the Twilio channels, including messaging, voice, email, and video, developers can create scalable, production-ready applications by implementing just a few basic Twilio APIs. Messaging enables you to start building solutions for SMS and WhatsApp, along with sending mass alerts or user verifications, such as one-time passwords, using the Verify API. And with voice, you can use our API to create custom web calling experiences with the Twilio Voice SDK. You can build solutions like mass calling with proxies, call tracking, embedded calling with WebRTC, and so much more. Twilio's SendGrid email API enables you to send emails to your customers and maximize inbox placement by protecting your reputation as a trusted sender. And with video, developers can create real-time video applications that scale as your application grows. So whether you're coding in JavaScript, Android, or iOS, implementing the Twilio Video SDK is a breeze. As you can see, the Twilio customer engagement platform truly helps companies engage with their customers to create meaningful relationships by providing all of the digital channels companies need to connect with their customers from a single trusted provider. Twilio's CEP is powered by Segment, the #1 customer data platform that enables developers like you to bring all of your data together across business silos and intelligently personalize each individual customer interaction at scale. To kick this webinar off, I'd like to introduce that the Twilio Verify WhatsApp API is now in public beta. With Twilio Verify, developers can implement two-factor authentication via SMS, mobile push, email, or voice, and it's all powered through a single integrated API, which makes implementation a breeze. Developers love Twilio Verify since it's actually the #1 2FA solution on the market, and we provide monitoring, reporting, and security out of the box, so you don't have to worry about infrastructure since it's a fully managed solution. The most common use case for Twilio Verify are companies looking to onboard new users onto their platform, and they need to verify phone numbers associated with their user accounts. With Verify, it works on multiple devices, and it supports all of the channels that your customers interface with when consuming your application. And as developers know, implementing security into your application is really difficult. But with the Verify API, these security features come implemented out of the box. This provides developers that implement the Verify API into their applications with a seamless, reliable, end user experience. So now that you have a good understanding of what Twilio Verify can do for your business, I want to highlight the importance of this new public beta for the Twilio Verify WhatsApp API. WhatsApp is the default means of communication in Latin America, APAC, and a lot of other European countries. And it's the second choice in other markets like the USA, France, and Australia. WhatsApp has over 2 billion monthly active users, and it's sending over 60 billion messages a day. That's right. So if you're scaling to any of these regions or countries, you really want to make sure that you maximize your engagement outcomes. And this is why you really need to consider using WhatsApp to reach your customers. So if you're a developer or business considering implementing our Twilio Verify WhatsApp API, here are some important reasons why it's beneficial to use our API rather than building some one-time passcode solution yourself. The first is no message throttling, since Twilio is already at the highest volume tier as a WhatsApp solution provider. Also, if your company's in a business and it's operating in an industry like dating, crypto, digital subscriptions, or gambling, those industries are actually prohibited from sending messages directly by WhatsApp's broad commerce policy. But with Verify, we can actually still send those one-time passcodes for you on your behalf. So let's actually take a look at a quick demo of an implementation of the Twilio Verify WhatsApp API. In this example, it's an online shopping app called Owlmart. When a new user comes to the website, they're going to create an account and register with the online retailer. And after a user inputs their credentials, they can choose to have their one-time passcode sent to them via SMS, voice, WhatsApp, or email. When they choose WhatsApp, you can see that they get an alert with a verification code. And then that user can input that code in to basically progress, and then they can set up multi-factor authentication next. So if you would like to learn more about the Twilio Verify WhatsApp API and get started with the API today to implement it into your own application, make sure to click this link and go visit the documentation. I'd now like to introduce that SuperSIM is now generally available. I'm going to hand the mic over to Tobias, who's a principal product marketer for IoT, to talk to you about the new SuperSIM GA release.
Thank you, Jordan. Indeed, SuperSIM is GA now, and I want to focus in on two new capabilities of SuperSIM today. But first, to get everyone on the same page, what is SuperSIM? In a nutshell, Twilio SuperSIM gives you cellular connectivity for physical devices anywhere on the planet where there are cellular networks. It bundles around 400 networks on a single SIM, with a single API and a single web console for SIM management. And of course, that web-based SIM management is embedded in Twilio Console, and thus integrated with the rest of the Twilio ecosystem. Our SuperSIM customers make a lot of use of Twilio's other communication products, most notably messaging and voice. AirThings, for example, builds air quality monitoring devices and connects them with SuperSIM. As their device sensors report air quality issues, they use programmable messaging to send out alerts. Or take GrandPad, who build and market a dedicated tablet for seniors. These tablets use SuperSIM for connectivity and embed programmable voice and video so that Granddad can use GrandPad to do video telephony with his loved ones. When building cellular connected IoT products, we know that companies often need to activate or deactivate SIMs in bulk as they expand their business. And indeed, recent market research from Transformer Insights, as shown here, confirms that IoT solution builders mention one need from platform vendors more than others, and that is better automation, in the sense of configuring large IoT fleets in an easy way, such as activating hundreds or thousands of SIMs with a few clicks. And that is exactly what users of SuperSIM can now do. In December, we launched two new capabilities in Twilio Console: Bulk Actions and Usage Insights. Bulk Actions lets you configure a selection of SIMs at once without asking our support team for help or using our APIs. While doing this has always been possible through our APIs, many IoT fleet operators simply don't have ready access to developer resources to leverage these APIs. That persona, the fleet operator, can now use bulk actions to, for example, activate the last order of 5,000 SIMs in one go with just a few clicks. Or change the network access profile for all UK-based SIMs, say. Once a SIM fleet is deployed, the fleet operator will want to understand data usage. Usage Insights now lets them filter for a selection of SIMs, then review data downloaded and uploaded per day, as well as drill down into a per-hour view. Let's have a quick look at bulk actions. Imagine you're building a tracker device, and you recently ordered 10 SuperSIMs to trial them in your prototype. You want to activate these 10 SIMs in bulk. You're now on the SuperSIMs overview page where you see the SIMs you ordered. Here you can filter your SIMs, for example, by a particular order you made, by their status, such as viewing all new SIMs versus active ones. The 10 SIMs that we now want to activate are shown down here, together with their ICC IDs, their current status, and some additional information. I've filtered our view here by the recent order, so the 10 SIMs show up. Let's select them and click Update SIMs. In the upcoming window, we will ready our SIMs. The ready state lets you use a SIM, but without incurring any charges yet. We give you 250 kilobyte of data in 3 months' time for your testing and prototyping. Once you pass either of these thresholds, your SIM will automatically be switched to the active state and incur charges. In a previous step, not shown in this demo, I had already created a fleet for our SIMs. A fleet is a grouping of several SIMs to give them all some shared configuration. So I will select that fleet called UK. I will now see a summary of the desired bulk action and just need to hit Confirm Changes. And that's it. The SIMs have now been activated and are ready to use. If you're interested in trying out SuperSIM for your IoT devices, we want to offer all of you a free trial SIM. Just note that our SIMs only support data, not native voice. So it's not a SIM meant for your smartphone. For voice, you would build your own app using programmable voice, if you need voice in your IoT device, for instance, and that uses voice over IP versus native telephony. With that, back to you, Jordan.
Thanks so much, Tobias, for that awesome demo of SuperSIM. We are now excited to announce that Twilio Frontline is now generally available on March 1st. And Twilio Frontline allows salespeople to maintain one-to-one digital relationships with their clients over the channels they prefer. I'd like to introduce Chris, a senior product marketing manager of messaging, who will walk you through the Twilio Frontline GA release.
Thanks, Jordan. So for all of you out there, imagine you're a luxury retail sales associate with clients who prefer to interact via text around your new spring collection, or a pharmaceutical sales rep working with providers who communicate over WhatsApp, or even a wealth manager with customers of 5 to 10 years, some who prefer text and others who might prefer WhatsApp. How do you accommodate these channel preferences and do so compliantly? Using your personal phone number and personal apps is inefficient, and it puts your company at risk. We solved company issue email decades ago, but what about texting and WhatsApp? That's where Twilio Frontline comes in, supporting channels like SMS, MMS, WhatsApp, voice, and chat, all in one easy-to-use app for salespeople. But it's not just the app. It's about what you can do with it. It's a programmable, mobile-first application with a web interface, but it has customizable integrations and workflows. We took care of all the headaches like UI and deploying an app to the App Store, but you still get the programmability you need. You can integrate any CRM or customer database, pull in custom fields, and turn on channels like SMS and WhatsApp. You can access compliant customer engagement. It meets the standards customers need with SSO-ready user management, archived conversations, and anonymized numbers. And it provides a great sales or user experience. You can enable transfers between teammates, provide language-specific templates, and include emojis and more. So let's take a closer look at how it all works. Starting on the right, the client messages a sales associate on their preferred channel. The cool thing? No new apps required. That goes through Frontline and is delivered within the Frontline app to the specific salesperson, the person who's mapped to that client. You can then pull in customer CRM data, integrate with your SSO provider, and maintain a database for monitoring compliance and consent. This is the true power of Frontline, with the ability to go deep with integrations while enabling channels of choice, and doing so reliably. The result is salespeople get the context they need for every client interaction, wherever they are, on whatever channel they're on. But what does this employee experience or the salesperson experience actually look like? As a salesperson, I can click into the app and easily log in through my company's SSO provider. From there, I have access to the conversation screen where I can manage all client conversations across channels. Like I said, Frontline also integrates with my CRM, so I can access all my customers in a single tab on my phone. And then I can pull up a specific contact with their details and additional notes for context-driven conversations. And when it comes to engaging clients, I can customize every interaction, or I can use templates. And those are best for conversation openers or WhatsApp-approved templates requiring opt-in. Like any good salesperson, I know at some point it pays to pick up the phone and call. I can simply click the phone icon within Frontline and place a call, just like you see here. But what if I'm in front of my laptop or my computer? Well, we've got a web interface in private beta. You can log into Frontline on your laptop and manage the same conversational experience from there. This means you can maintain seamless conversations from your phone or computer. And for those of you in the healthcare space, Frontline is HIPAA eligible. It can be used to develop compliant healthcare applications. So check out Frontline today. You can go to our webpage and walk through an interactive demo, which is a really cool experience. And if you have questions or want a demo tailored to your business needs, don't hesitate to reach out. We can't wait to see what you build. With that, I'll pass it back to you, Jordan.
Thanks, Chris, for walking us through Twilio Frontline. Twilio is now excited to announce that SSO on the Twilio Console is now in public beta for our enterprise customers. We are launching self-serviceability on the Twilio Console for SSO, and this is a feature that our customers have been asking for a long time, so we're really excited to be launching this new feature. SSO is an authentication mechanism where employees can use a single credential to access multiple applications that their employer has configured. SSO is important because think about what happens to an employee's Twilio account when they leave an organization. With SSO enforcement, once the user is deactivated from your identity provider, they will not be able to log in and access your accounts and resources in Twilio. With this new self-service single sign-on product, admins that manage Twilio accounts across your organization can now configure and enforce SSO within minutes from the console or admin center. With the automatic SSO enforcement, you can select one or more domains to enforce SSO on, and you can have SSO enforced for your users from those domains automatically. You won't have to enable SSO one by one every single time when you add a user account to your organization. As long as your IDP supports SAML 2.0, integrating SSO is super straightforward. Setting up SSO for your users is as easy as going into the admin center and clicking on the single sign-on option in the navigation bar. Then you can use the values on your dashboard to configure your SAML application in your IDP. In order to access SSO, you will need to have purchased an administrative or enterprise edition of Twilio that includes the SSO feature. Our SSO offering supports SAML 2.0, SSO login flows, multiple SSO profiles, multiple domains, user-level SSO, and management of SSO certificates. To get started with our new self-service single sign-on product, check out our documentation page on how to get started. Thanks again for tuning in, and we're super excited to see how you like the public beta. I'd now like to announce that message scheduling is now in public beta. I want to introduce Bill, who's a senior product marketing manager of messaging at Twilio, and he's here to talk to you about message scheduling.
Thanks for the intro, Jordan. This is a great announcement for all of you developers out there because you have told us about your desire for this functionality. Having the capability to schedule messages to be delivered in the future is a very common feature in the messaging world. And with this launch, you no longer need to develop an alternative solution, such as setting up cron jobs on your server to send out messages at a predetermined time, or having your backend pull for events to send out messages at the right time. To give you some greater context, message scheduling is a messaging services feature within the Twilio Programmable Messaging API. With it, you can schedule SMS, MMS, or WhatsApp messages for a future date and time and let Twilio handle the rest. Best of all, this feature is included for free, along with other sender selection, integration, content, and compliance software functionality. Let me give you a couple of examples of where this type of functionality is useful. One example could be a medical provider sending an appointment reminder to learn if the patient needs to reschedule, which of course reduces those pesky and expensive no-shows. Another great use case is for marketers who wish to deliver promotional campaigns in the future. In the example shown here on the screen, a shopping mall is texting their subscribers to inform them of bonus days and provide them with a promotional discount. Obviously, the marketers would benefit from lining up their messaging in advance of the distribution date. And of course, Twilio also provides the capability to cancel a scheduled message should the need arise. Enough with all the talk. Let me hand it off to Cody for a great demo.
Thanks for that great introduction to message scheduling, Bill. I'm Cody Henshaw, and I'm a technical product marketer here at Twilio. I'm looking forward to bringing message scheduling to life through a demo. Like Bill said, a lot of businesses could benefit from this. Marketers who want to offer some kind of promotion, like sending a coupon a few days after a customer's added to their database, or like appointment reminders for a doctor, a stylist, anything like that. And that's the one that I'm going to kind of show you how to build today. Like Bill said, we don't need to set up any cron jobs, polling services, or anything like that. And to show you how easy it actually is, we're going to use one of those no-code, low-code database tools called Airtable today, because it lets us write a little bit of JavaScript. And that's all it takes is a quick call to the Twilio API. So I think that's awesome. Twilio is enabling a lot of these no-code, low-code builders to actually take their applications and connect them to customers in a way that they weren't able to do before. So let's actually jump into our API docs first, because I think that's where a lot of people kind of get their first hands-on experience and copy and pasting things from the docs into their apps, and that's really how I got my first experience with Twilio. So we take a lot of pride in making sure that these are always up to date with our latest and greatest releases, and we've got these new ones for message scheduling. If you're at all familiar with the existing messaging API, you'll be really comfortable here. It's got all the existing parameters that you're familiar with, like the from, to, body, and media URL if you're sitting in an MMS. But we've added some really useful new parameters, a send at parameter, so you know when to actually send your message, and a schedule type, which you want to set to fixed so that you can schedule those messages for a certain time. Okay, so now you know how this call works and looks. I'm going to jump right into that demo. So let's imagine that we're going to build this really simple scheduling application. It'll look something like this. We've got a form that displays the available booking times, a checkbox to opt in, and a field to enter a phone number. So when I submit the form, I get a confirmation message. Pretty straightforward. But that's a one-off interaction. What about follow-ups? No-shows are a direct hit to revenue for any type of business that relies on appointments, and follow-ups can greatly reduce the number of times that it happens. That's where the message scheduling API really shines. Let's jump in our database to see how that might actually work. So, like I said, we're going to use Airtable. Don't need to know anything about it, but what we've got here is a table that's tracking all of our appointments. You can see the one that was just created when I submitted that form. And then you'll see another table here that's actually tracking all the messages that are sent or scheduled or canceled by Twilio. You can see here the SID of the message that was just sent to me, along with these other three that were scheduled. Now, those are the three messages that were scheduled using the message scheduling API, and I'm going to show you how we did that. So if you jump into this side panel here, these are called Airtable automations, and they actually let you write kind of some logic and then connect them to scripts. So that's what we've done here. So you can see when an appointment is within the next week and has reminders enabled, we'll go ahead and run a script to schedule all these messages. Let's look at the script. So you can see here that we create scheduled messages 3 days before, on the day of, an hour before the appointment. Then we filter anything in the past and build a payload structure just like we saw in the docs. Then we make a request to Twilio, and then when that call is successful, a message SID is returned and stored in our database. Okay, now I just wanted to point out real quick this other automation that's run as soon as the form is submitted and the user opts in. We just call the regular messaging API without that send at or schedule type parameter, and it sends that message right away. Okay, so that's kind of the first part of that interaction. Submit the form, give them a text message, an initial text message, and then schedule a few messages for follow-up. Okay, we're almost at the finish line, but I wanted to show you one more thing. We heard feedback while testing message scheduling that developers needed to cancel messages. For example, when an appointment's canceled. Makes sense. That's one of the reasons why we stored the message SIDs in that table. So if we open this canceled automation, we can see that when a status is canceled, we'll run the script. And all we're doing there is we're sending a request to Twilio with a status of canceled and that message SID. And we also have this other one that sends an immediate follow-up that the appointment was canceled. So just like the initial message that we sent. So finally, let's see that whole thing in action. So if we open this appointments tab, we can change the status to canceled. If we jump over the message log tab, we'll see that the messages now have a status of canceled and that a new record has been created. That's that message that gets sent to me. So if we hop over to my phone, you can see that I get that confirmation message letting me know that my appointment's been canceled, and then I won't get any more notifications. So anyway, that's kind of it. So that's the end-to-end demo, and I hope that helped you really see how powerful but simple the message scheduling API is, and that it can really enable all kinds of use cases, from appointment scheduling to marketing messages and so many others that we haven't even thought of yet. But thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait to see what you build. Thanks, and back to you, Bill.
Thanks, Cody. That was awesome. As you can see from the demo, message scheduling is simple and extremely useful. And you can get started today by going to twilio.com/docs/sms/api/message-resource. The use cases and opportunities to use message scheduling are endless. We can't wait to see what you build. Back to you, Jordan.
Thanks so much, Bill and Cody, for walking us through message scheduling. I'm now excited to announce that Twilio Video Insights is now generally available. With Twilio Video Insights, we enable you to build high-quality video applications that work across network conditions, and we allow you to have self-service tooling via the Twilio Console to track the performance of your videos in real time. The Video Insights dashboard allows you to monitor your application usage and identify trends across all of your rooms and participants. You can see how many participants are active, you can track usage, and you can track growth. Additionally, we've launched a completely revamped video log analyzer for diving into individual calls to troubleshoot end user issues with ease. Video Insights detects issues for you so you don't have to spend hours looking through logs or trying to reproduce what users are reporting. We process all the metrics and events and tag participants when there are issues detected, such as high packet loss or high latency. These detected issues are then surfaced in the Video Insights dashboard so you can get a better understanding on how many rooms and participants were impacted. Indeed is using Twilio to transform the hiring process with an all-in-one platform for virtual interviews. When COVID-19 made in-person interviewing a challenge, Indeed needed a remote video solution for hiring. The Twilio API gave Indeed developers the freedom to customize every aspect of their solution to include recruiting specific functions and visualizations and helping them differentiate from other offerings on the market. Solutions like these are exactly why we launched Twilio Live. We want to enable you to unlock your creativity and create the experience you dream of. If you'd like to learn more about Twilio Video Insights, please visit the console so that way you can try out Video Insights today right from your console. I now want to introduce Will. He's a senior product marketing manager of phone numbers, and he's going to discuss a new feature within the Twilio console. This compliance update for our phone numbers API will drastically reduce admin time around regulation and compliance, and Will is going to jump into this new exciting public beta release.
Hi, my name is Will McKenzie, and I'll be walking you through the newest feature for phone number compliance. As a lot of us know, the landscape of phone number compliance and regulations around the world can be a headache. And when regulations are put into place by carriers or countries, you're required to update your phone number's compliance information. We know that the current Twilio process within Console and the Phone Numbers API to update this info can be an admin nightmare. It is a manual, non-transparent process that can lead to your inventory of numbers being non-compliant and ultimately at risk for no longer being able to provision new phone numbers, and eventually reclamation. However, starting now in public beta, we are giving you the power to seamlessly manage your phone number compliance and regulations through an updated process within the console and API. Whether you manage thousands of phone numbers for a group of customers or a group of numbers used by your own internal teams, managing your compliance information will no longer be a full-time job. With this new release, you will receive notifications about regulations that impact your phone numbers and gain access to new tools to get your pool of senders into compliance when these regulations change. So that's enough talking about it. Let's actually take a look at what this looks like. Today we'll be diving into the Twilio Console experience for our demo. As I stated previously, this new workflow will allow you as a customer to update your compliance info through a streamlined process after a regulation has been updated. As I switch over to my email, we can see a new trigger has automatically sent me an email because of a new regulation for numbers in Australia that has been put into place. And that regulation impacts my inventory of phone numbers. It describes the bundles and the exact information that needs to be updated by May 29th, 2022, in this case, to comply. Within this email, there's a link that sends me directly to my bundles within Console to make these changes. So as I go over to the console, the first thing I see is this informational box at the top of the screen, basically stating I need to update something, along with a status field next to each of my bundles, claiming what state it is in. So as we can see here, I have one rejected and a few that require updates. I can also click the filter bundles that require an update button at the top to more seamlessly see the task at hand. So now I will click into one of these that needs to be updated. So the first thing I see in this page is a modal that pops up, basically restating what was said in the email about the bundle update and when it needs to be updated by. So I will click the Start Bundle Update, and during this process, a copy of this bundle that I'm currently working on is automatically created so that I can begin updating compliance info in a draft state, so I don't impact any of my active phone numbers. So as I navigate back to the bundles page, I go to that bundle that I was working on, and I can see that it is in a current draft state. So there's a few things to note here. There's two different SIDs now. This is the original one, the SID for provisioning numbers, and then this is the new one, the draft stage, the SID for regulation updates. As I scroll down, I can see what one of these information required fields needs to be updated. And I look to the right here and I see that I need to update the declaration of beneficial owner. Luckily, I have that right here, so I will click in. I will see the information that it needs. I have the business name, first name, but I need to add the birth date and the last name. So I'll add in my birthday here. And I'll add in my last name here. And I'll hit save. So now at this point, I can see that that went through. I got a check mark there. And the next thing to do is to hit submit for review. I agree to this acknowledgement. So now it's in Twilio's hands. This has been updated, and we can see as we click back in that updates are in review. So once Twilio has confirmed that the update is acceptable, the bundle will be approved, and at that point, the draft version is no longer necessary and will be removed automatically to help avoid any confusion for the user. And the original bundle will have the accurate and compliant information, and the update has been completed. Also, throughout this process, none of my phone numbers will need to be reassigned. Do note that the transfer items that are done automatically within the console will need to be done manually and triggered for the phone numbers API. So, to get started, we have linked our phone numbers regulatory FAQ, which includes everything you need to know about regulations and compliance for your phone numbers, along with tutorials for the public API and console. We hope that this updated feature will benefit you and your customers while helping avoid the headache of phone number regulation and compliance. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Will, for walking us through that important phone number compliance release. I'd now like to announce that Twilio Segment in the EU is now generally available. To walk you through this release, I'd like to introduce Gavin, a senior product marketing manager of Segment CDP, who's going to walk you through this exciting new GA release.
By 2023, 65% of the world's population will have its personal information covered under modern privacy regulation, up from 10% today. Possibly even more importantly, 90% of consumers believe that how their data is treated reflects how they are treated as customers. Protecting your customers' data privacy and practicing good data etiquette are not just items to check off a list. They also help you earn and maintain your customers' trust. To address new regulatory concerns, in March of 2021, we committed to delivering an EU localized segment by January 2022. And we did. Twilio Segment in the EU is now in general availability. It is Twilio Segment deployed on infrastructure hosted in the EU. It makes it easy to collect, unify, and activate your customer data in any system where you need it, while helping protect the data privacy of end users in the EU. Twilio Segment in the EU includes connections and protocols with data collection, processing, filtering, validation, deduplication, and storage done on infrastructure hosted in the EU. Now you can collect, unify, and activate your customer data in any system where you need it, so that you can understand your customers better and create seamless, compelling experiences that they love, while having the control to keep your customers' data in the EU. Twilio Segment in the EU also includes personas, with data processing, storage, and audience creation done on infrastructure hosted in the EU. Now you can create real-time audiences, computed traits, SQL traits, and journeys, so you can build tailored, consistent, and real-time customer experiences, while aligning with your company's data privacy and regulation compliance goals. This has been a key project and a major effort for our team over the last year. We're excited to be able to take this huge step forward with the general availability of Twilio Segment in the EU. You can learn more about Twilio Segment in the EU and our GDPR solutions at segment.com/product/GDPR.
Thanks, Gavin, for walking us through the GA release of Twilio Segment in the EU. I'd now like to announce that Twilio Segment platform extensibility integrations is now generally available. To walk you through this release, I'd like to introduce Charles, a product marketing manager of Partner Ecosystem, who's going to walk you through this exciting new release for Segment.
Thanks, Jordan. One of Segment's major areas of focus this year, and every year, is being the most extensible CDP on the market. We're constantly working to provide our customers access to every source of first-party data their businesses produce, like their mobile apps or websites, and every destination where that data can be activated, like their marketing platforms or data warehouses. In support of that, we are really excited to talk about several new integrations that broaden our reach across the modern tech stack. Analytics Swift and Analytics Kotlin provide integrations with the most modern, extensible, and developer-friendly mobile libraries available, opening up access to track apps across a wide range of platforms like iPadOS, watchOS, and tvOS. React Native delivers a similar approach to analytics collection for apps developed in its platform-agnostic ecosystem. Our campaign conversion integrations for the Google, Facebook, and TikTok ad platforms will allow marketers to continue managing impactful campaigns even in a world where the third-party tracking cookie is headed for extinction. And our Google Analytics 4 destination lets customers use the power of the newest version of Google's core analysis platform to make sense of their web and mobile data. You can find the details about each of these new integrations and all of the more than 400 sources and destinations that Segment supports at segment.com/catalog.
That concludes the end of our quarterly release webinar. We really appreciate you watching today, and we're really excited to show off all these new releases coming to the Twilio customer engagement platform. If you'd like a chance to win some free Twilio swag, please take a brief moment to go to the survey below and leave your feedback. We really want to hear what you thought of the webinar and tell us what you'd like to see in the next one. We also are going to open up the floor to a live Q&A, so if anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below and we're going to answer them in the chat for you. Thanks again, once again, so much for attending, and we hope to see you at our next webinar in Q2 of 2022. Thank you.